Mike Bohn here with AJ McKee, the new Bellator featherweight champion, featherweight Grand Prix winner, millionaire. AJ, it's
Hey,
must feel pretty good to wake up this morning, right?
hey, it still hasn't kind of registered or kicked in. Fucking, I looked at that check again and was like, whoa. So it's still settling in, but yeah, man, it's surreal. Just trying to embrace it. I'm going places. Everybody's noticing me now. The day has come. The jig is up.
Yeah, does it feel like different? I mean, man, I can see what everyone's saying about you yesterday, today. You were the star of the weekend. You guys went head to head with a UFC show, and I think everyone came out of that night talking about you. Does something feel different today?
um, Definitely. I think people are starting to realize how good I am. People are starting to see AJ McKee, you know what I mean? The mercenary in action, doing what he does best, signing that contract and taking people out. So, man, it's nice to finally kind of put one up on the organization, you know what I mean? And kind of show people that the fighters make the organizations don't make the fighters. And it's nice to be respected regardless what organization, where happened, what happened. Um, just to go out there as two great fighters and put it all on the line and to come out victorious the way I did. Like I
Yeah,
said,
now
4 for 4 all finishes. Got to
you
take it home.
absolutely did. You called it, man. And yeah, just to, I guess, go back to the beginning of fight week and everything. Like, I know you were so confident coming in there. You guys had that press conference where I know you told me when I talked to you at your gym back in April, you were like, I wanted to snatch his belt that night he won his semifinal fight when you guys were at the Mohegan together. Was that something you were kind of plotting in the back of your mind? Like, if the opportunity comes up, I'm going to try to do this?
No, it wasn't. But then when the disrespect happened and then so forth, him throwing kicks and shit, like when he threw the bottle or smacked the mic over, and then I saw him try to come back. You know what I mean? He wanted to come back to grab the belt. I knew that was his pride check right there. He tried to grab the belt, but I beat him to it, and that just fueled him. You know what I mean? That sent him through the roof. And at that point, I knew. I'm like, oh, I got him. I got him. He's in his feelings now.
Yeah, and you had told me, months prior that you thought you broke him in the face off that you guys did in the cage, after he had won his fight. So, like, did you go into that week feeling that you already had that one up, and then did that moment, I guess, maybe just solidify things even further?
Exactly, because I knew from the stare down, him breaking, I I just knew what I was there to do, and then praying about it and seeing the victory and knowing like all I just got to do is go in there and be the best I can be. You know what I mean? Stay calm, stay composed, and be patient. And that's exactly what I did. Just went in there, stayed patient, and waited for the opportunity to arise. And as soon as I saw it, like my dad said, get on him. You know what I mean? Get on him as soon as you see it. Um, the whole head kick was kind of crazy just because the second it happened, you know what I mean? His corner was talking all that smack prior to the fight. And like I still wanted to let him know, you know what I mean? It's you and I in here. So when his corner's talking that smack, trying to get my attention and cameras in his face, cameras in my face, I walked around the cameras to let him know like it's you and I in here. It's just me and you know what I mean? I wanted him to know that. And he knew. I think at that point he knew. And then when I came out, I kept my range. I showed him my distance first to just keep him at bay. You know what I mean? And he didn't like how long I was with those kicks, so it kind of threw him off. And then I let him plant to try to get into his range, and it threw him off. He wasn't expecting to be in the range like that, and he was looking for that one opening. And I showed it to him, and I showed him the left, and I feinted back, circled him off, cut the cage off, and I showed him the left again, but I didn't throw the left. I threw the left kick instead. And he was expecting the left hand. He was going to try to counter it, but yeah.
Yeah, and obviously a pretty short fight, so not like a ton of footage to break down and stuff. But leading up to it, you had told me, you said, I feel like after about a minute and a half into the first round, he's going to start to get desperate and he's going to come at me. He's going to make a mistake and it's going to look like Aldo versus McGregor all over again. Obviously, a little bit of a different finish there. But in that first minute and a half before you landed that head kick, what were just kind of going through your mind? Were you just, like you said there, trying to take in the range, trying to figure out what he was doing? And were you surprised that he barely threw anything prior to you landing that kick?
Nah, he was looking for an opening. So when we first came out, he saw the range. He tried to feint, get a couple feints in to get me to move and react. but I wasn't biting on any of his feints, nothing he was throwing. You know, I was waiting for him to go, and the fact that I didn't bite on any of his feints was a big like, okay, he's waiting for this one opportunity, and then obviously I knew he was going to focus on my forward teep kicks because that's what they showed in the pre-fight. You know what I mean? So I knew he knew to expect those, but I came to the outside leg, came with the outside leg kick, and it landed, and he felt it. So he gave that like, oh, that was a good kick. And like at that point, I knew, you know what I mean? Okay, I got him thinking on this side, so let's go back to the opposite side, and we can go either high or go low. And we went high, and that was all she wrote. That head kick was on the money. He was looking to counter it, which was exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah, and I want to go to what you just mentioned there. You said they were showing the footage of the teep kicks. I mean, this is like next level kind of gamesmanship that maybe not many people can read into. Like, I know you're very deep in the game. Is this stuff that you come up with on your own, thinking about this is how they're going to look at it, this is how I want to do it, or is this stuff that's being inherited through a lifetime in the game, your father, all the people you've been around, these little tricks that maybe the average person isn't picking up on in the lead up to a fight?
It's a mix of everything, you know. As much as I'm attentive and I'm aware, I know they're aware as well. You know what I mean? So it's realizing what's being shown, what's being showcased, and people are going to make adjustments. People are going to adapt to that. But for me, just being so different and unorthodox, I have to think ahead like that. I have to come up with new ways to keep myself improving and kind of putting myself in their shoes. You know what I mean? I in that sense, I don't focus on what they're doing, but I'm focusing on what I need to do that they're going to focus on of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's like chess. You always got to think like at first it was one move ahead. Now we're thinking two moves ahead. And then we got to start thinking three moves ahead. And that's how you just keep leveling up, reaching new plateaus.
Yeah, that's some legit deep stuff in
Chess,
terms of the
not
fight
check.
game, man.
Chess, not check.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the kick. Obviously, you heard him with the uppercut after. What was that, momentary decision making there, where you thought the fight was over, you celebrated, and then instead of trying to hit him again, you obviously went for the choke? Was there consideration? Maybe I'll just keep punching him. Was the choke, instant? What was just walk us through that moment there?
Well, I was just so hyped in that moment, man. As soon as I saw him hit the ground again, I was like, because I knew I rocked him with the head kick. So to sit him down with the uppercut, I was like, oh, this is over. Like, that's it. And then he kind of came back to a little bit. And I was thinking maybe hit him, but I just saw his neck, I knew he was out of it. And like, I knew if I got my hands around his neck, it was a wrap. Like I'm good at front headlocks. So I locked that up and, I had his back pinned against the cage, which kept the pressure in his hips going against the cage. Inside leg trip, add a little bit more pressure and dragging him down to the mat while lifting him up by his neck. And yeah, that was all she wrote at that point. As soon as I got it, I thought about it and I was like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like I know I got this one.
And I know he had said that he told you in the cage he wasn't out. I didn't really see anyone online or anything complain about the stoppage. I thought it was perfect, especially, he was in that moment where it seemed like he was about to go out. And if the ref hadn't stopped it when he did, you probably would have slumped him face first on the canvas, right? Because he would have gone out completely. So did you think that was kind of perfectly timed right there?
Great stoppage, man. Beltran's he's one of the best refs in the game. I do a lot of things that people don't see, even like my last armbar. He was on top of it. Any other ref would have had no idea what was going on. You know what I mean? It's just being attentive, being aware of what's going on in there. Myself improvising and coming up with new ways to create new victories. The refs have to look for new things as well. You know what I mean? He gave him the opportunity to defend himself. He watched very closely, very technical. He saw that he went to defend the hand kind of withered down, and then when the hand dropped, he picked the hand up to see, and the hand was limp still, you know what I mean? At that point, that was when I felt his body go limp, and I'm like, he's out. I knew he was going out, you know what I mean? So another 2 seconds, and it would have been just a face plant let go. So I think that was probably one of the best stoppages you could have had. Like, it was very attentive, very aware, just being able to recognize not only the move, the positioning of how it was locked in. Like, that was all she wrote. You know what I mean? You can put somebody in that move 100 times the exact same way, and they're not getting out.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely perfect there. So the crowd goes absolutely wild when you finish the fight. You had told me last time we talked you wanted an empty arena for this fight. Safe to say, with the reaction you got, where they put the fight, was that the right call? Are you glad that you had the full house there in your backyard and everything?
Definitely, I was loving it, man. It was phenomenal just because the first time we fought there, the whole crowd wasn't there for me, but by the end of the night, they were there for me. You know what I mean? So this time, having them immediately there for me was just surreal. Like it was probably the most energy in the world. Like just going Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like just like you had nothing else to do. Like you got to go up. So when the fight started, I knew the opportunity was going to arise. Just stay patient, and wait for it to show itself and capitalize on that moment. That was the big key. Stay patient and just wait it out. And yeah, minute and a half, 2 minutes in, I knew he was going to get desperate. He was going to realize like, okay, he's not biting and he's waiting for something, and he didn't know what to expect while he was waiting.
Yeah, man, it was just such a great performance. And I'm curious, I know you talked a little bit about it after, but how tough was the weight cut for this fight in particular?
Um, I feel like my weight cut's always a little rough, just because I'm a big 45er. You know what I mean? Um, 18 fights at 145 pounds. I'm getting older. I'm getting bigger, stronger. So I definitely there's a couple little things I learned from cutting weight in this camp. Just little minor adjustments that I need to go back to the drawing board and kind of implement. Um, weight cut was good. You know what I mean? It wasn't the best weight cut. Obviously I would say my Cardwell weight cut was probably my easiest weight cut. Everything was dialed in proper, but I feel like I put a good like 10 pounds, maybe about 5 pounds on a muscle this fight. So I came in a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and I feel like we saw it. We could see it. I looked abnormally bigger this time. Um,
Can you give
at the
us an
end of the
idea
day,
what you came in at on fight week at like the
oh yeah,
start?
I was about 67, 65,
Wow.
65-ish. Yeah. So I
Yes.
fucking 3-4 gallons, 4 or 5 Pedialytes. Like I went in. You know what I mean? Big old tomahawk steak, some potatoes, 2 omelets, omelet wrap. Like I was eating. You know what I mean? Like I ate a lot. I drank a lot. But it's all fuel to the monster. You know what I mean? My body will filter it out and push out what it doesn't need. And you just can't overdo it. You know what I mean? You got to really pay attention to your body. And that's key. I definitely think I can get a couple more fights in at 145. But I just don't. If we're spreading them out over a year, you know what I mean? Obviously, these are prime years. I'm not trying to fight once a year at 145 pounds. Let my body get used to being healthy and big, and then cut down like that. If I'm gonna stay in shape, stay ready, then let's keep lining them up. First round finishes, let's get in there and get them done. You know what I mean? Keep the people excited, give them some entertainment to look forward to.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of the spot we're in now, right? Like where do we go? I know we could do the rematch at 155. I know there's the big upside for you there in terms of getting the second belt, but I know you'll probably be even bigger at 155, feel even better. Like, is there anything about that fight that makes you feel like a change in weight class, especially going up, he could present anything different, or do you think that would just be look eerily similar, or perhaps even more brutal finish, something like that?
More power, more power. In this sense, I think he's gonna know what to expect a little bit more. Just being in there, he's had those 2 minutes or so to kind of fill me out a little bit. So there's gonna be he read some stuff. He was able to make a little bit of adjustments. I was just a couple levels ahead on the adjustments. So it's being able to recognize that he's gonna take some time off as he should. He's still a champion, great champion. Um, Got to sit down and see where things go. Maybe I go do some boxing and hop into that world a little bit. Um, Obviously, I got to sit down with Bellator, talk some contracts and stuff, and just see what's next, what's in the lineup. At 145 pounds, there's nothing really left for me that's entertaining in the division. Um, Being champ is a big long term dream. It's been a long time coming, and that's what I look forward to. So maybe we let Pitbull heal up, get his time, and I just go over, do some boxing with Showtime, and see how that works out.
Interesting. What about this idea Pitbull and his manager, Eric Albertine, coach, said at the press conference about them doing the rematch in Brazil? Is this something you would even consider? I know Bellator doesn't really do shows down there, and I'm sure with the COVID world, it'd be complicated to get an event down there. But like just on the surface, if they could set it up, is this something that would even intrigue you or no?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I've been the underdog fighting in Ireland on a main event, fighting Irish boy. You know what I mean? It's no biggie to me. The only thing that scares me about Brazil is Brazil. Brazil's Brazil. You know what I mean? And even he said it. Patricio knows. It's like LA. You know what I mean? It's a dangerous place. I would say it's more dangerous than LA just because the Brazilians don't play out there. You know what I mean? And they're very passionate about their people and what they expect of each other. So, man, I wouldn't mind it. I don't know. Good luck getting Bellator and everybody wanting and the cameras and everybody going over there. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a reason UFC did it and they did it once. You know, so I don't know. We'll see. At the end of the day, maybe we go Madison Square Garden, go Times Square or something, meet in the middle or something. You know, or go to London or something. Who knows? But I wouldn't mind fighting anywhere. You know what I mean? I love to travel. It's nice to fight in LA, but he was right. It is stressful handling tickets and getting all that taken care of. You got friends calling you the day of. You know what I mean? I was handling ticket stuff literally a couple hours before the fight. So please relieve me of the stress of having to take care of that. It's one less thing off my bucket list I got to take care of.
Fair play. So I guess all of this, though, as you alluded to, stems around the contract situation. You had told me before this was the last one. Now that you're a champion, it extends 3 fights or 18 months, I believe, 12 months, if you don't get those 3 fights in. So is that where we stand now? Bellator didn't, Scott didn't pull you in his office 5 minutes after the fight and to sign you up to an extension, because that's sure as hell what I would have done if I was him.
Nah, we got to sit down and talk some numbers. You know what I mean? I've made $1 million, so we got to sit down and talk, see what's next. You know, that millionaire mindset, that Floyd money thing. Like I said, Scott's willing to unify these belts. Maybe we get these big collabs going together with Showtime, CBS, and so forth, and the best man win. You know, get some millies going, get some millies, a milli. You know what I mean? We made one. Let's keep it going. Let's make a few more. You know what I mean? Two steps forward, time back.
Yeah, so that's ultimately what it's going to come down to. I mean, to me, again, you're the face of Bellator right now, and you're their homegrown product. I think this is so good for the sport. We did like our weekly roundtable segment today, and the leading question was, is AJ McKee the best featherweight in the world? And the fact that we're even having this conversation, I think, is really great for you, really great for the sport, and really great for Bellator. So, in my opinion, it would behoove them to do everything possible to hang on to you. But like you said, everything has to add up money-wise and those things, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, just sit down and talk. It's a conversation to have. I think we'll come to an agreement. There's things I want to do, Snickers, Undefeated, Porsche. Like, there's big companies out there that we can bring in, we can attach ourselves to, and we can just, like Porsche, it's the perfection of excellence. When you have excellence in front of you and you have a mindset of perfection, sky is the limit. You have to be able to kind of just maneuver a plan and come together as a unit to make that unit even bigger and stronger. And that's what I'm looking forward to. We got Monster on the team. They got all the beer companies and so forth, and Boost Mobile. So it's big things, you know what I mean? We can just bring all these things full circle and bring them together as a unit and see where things play out, It's time for Bellator to show what my value is, What are you willing to do to take care of me, I've showed them what I'm willing to do, and I think they're more than happy and more than excited to continue to work with me and see what the future holds for us as a team and a unit.
Yeah. What did Scott say to you after the fight? I know you guys were in the cage taking photos. I don't know if you guys spoke again backstage, but what was he kind of saying to you after that performance?
I can just feel his energy. He's excited, you know. He's excited because this is something I've been telling him for a while, you know, and to finally have it pay off and to see it happen, he's like, "This is it. Like, this is what you wanted. This is it. Like, this is your time now, you know." So I think he knows, you know, he's the OG. We're all on the same team, and at the end of the day, I think he's gonna work with us. You know what I mean? Got a lot of big collabs. Showtime's OGs in the sport. You know what I mean? In the boxing game, they put on some of the greatest fights of all time. Obviously, doing the collab with CBS as well. CBS, that's that long term money. You know what I mean? They are on everything. So there's a lot of doors that are open. You know, now it's time to just walk through them and present ourselves properly.
Yeah, and I saw someone bring up this theory on, I think it was a reporter named Danny Shapiro on Twitter that said you're walking potentially a very similar path to another superstar in the sport. You beat a dominant Brazilian champion, you move up, become champ, you go box Floyd Mayweather, you come back and potentially defend your title against an undefeated Nurmagomedov who is in the lightweight division. This all seems pretty interesting, right?
Hey, that could happen. You know, nothing but respect to the Russian brothers. They said they'll see me soon, and hey, you know where I'm at. We at the top, so I'll see y'all soon. You know, I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, Beeb's big inspiration. You know, he's done, so there's no point in crying his name and trying to get him to come out of retirement. He's got a young up and coming brother and a team as well. You know, let's tango, make it sweet like mango, baby.
Yeah, you are you impressed with those guys? I mean, there's a lot of them in Bellator right now doing some great things. A lot of them had nice performances. You know, it's like 1,300 minus 1,300 favorites, nevertheless, but still some good wins on the cards that night.
Hey, I remember being 1,300 as the odds as well. You know what I mean? So it shows what they expect of you. At the end of the day, I know they got their eyes on me. I got their eyes on them. You know, even though I'm the gatekeeper now, I still gotta watch what's around. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to monitor what's around you and know what to expect. You know, I know those young up and comers are on their way and they're watching me, so I'm gonna watch them as well. And may the best man win. And I see y'all at the top.
There we go. And just a couple more things. I really appreciate the time, AJ. What did your father say, Antonio? I mean, I know he's probably so proud of you. He's been expecting this, but you know, you guys go home. I don't know what you did Saturday night, if you know had a fun night out or anything, but even Sunday morning today, what has he been saying to you is, you know, you have those two belts, that massive check kicking around.
Man, he's just like, embrace it. Keep doing you. You know, the fact I went to the gym this morning. No days off. Like, you gotta go right
That's
back
promised.
in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, focus. He's like, this is why you're the best. He's like, keep doing what you're doing, man. He's like, I'm proud of you. Yeah, he's proud. You know what I mean? He's a proud father, proud coach. I saw a post that talking about Khabib being coach of the year. Fuck that. Antonio McKee's coach of the year. Period. 22 years in the making. You just had a fighter that's undefeated step out of the sport. Nothing against him and what he's doing, what he's done. Great things for him. Coach of the year is Antonio McKee, and I feel that that's the respect and the recognition he deserves. He's had many champs from Emmanuel Newton, Tyron Woodley, Rampage, Chuck Liddell. Like, if you think of this man's rap sheet of what he has done in the sport and what has been unsaid and unspoken about that he has done, that's coach of the year right there, man. Hands down. Just my accolades alone, that's coach of the year. So hopefully we get Antonio McKee a little bit of respect and glory for his coaching and his doings. That's probably one thing that I would love to see happen for him. You know what I mean? Outside of my shining light, my shining moments for him, I think that's just well deserved. You know what I mean? Body Shop has been reigning for years and years and years. So we going to the top, man, and we finally here. So I'm just thankful and grateful for everybody. You included, man. You've been holding it down since day one.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's I definitely think Antonio should get that respect. I mean, the thing about Habib, he's doing a great job. But as we just said, some of those guys he's coaching to wins are, extraordinarily big favorites and they're expected to win. And you have other guys out there, Antonio, like the Eric Nicksics of the world, who are in the corner for world championship fights. So to me, that outweighs the value a little bit. And you get back in there again this year, maybe, you even enhance that case. Do you think you maybe fight again in 2021, or is it maybe going to be a little longer?
Hey, I'm ready to fight next month. I'm ready, man. Like I said, if I'm finishing people first round, let's get me back in there. I'm hungry. I don't want to sit out. You know what I mean? That makes me bored. And I get bored, that's not good. I want to go drive fast cars and do 160 down the street. Like, don't make me bored. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Let me have my fun, Let me go get in my cage and play. I call that cage my playpen. So if I'm starting people first rounds, you know what I mean? Let's run it back to back. Let's get them going. Obviously, I know Pitbull needs some time off. He wants to relax for a little bit, but I've already defeated him once. Maybe we just relax. I go do some boxing and give him some time to recover and figure out what he wants to do. And we go from there. But, there's 2 steps forward. There's no need to go backwards at the moment.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, I guess, because you've said it like multiple times about potentially going to boxing right now. I know you said after the fight, the dream would be Floyd. I imagine that's not something you could get set up in the next 2-3 months, even if the stars align perfectly. So like, what kind of boxing experience would you be looking for if, say, Patricio isn't ready for 6, 7, 8 months and you want to take a fight in between? Like, what kind of thing do you think would make sense in the boxing world?
I don't know. Obviously, the dream is a sparring match with Floyd. Keyword sparring match. I'm not trying to knock this man out. Like, I want to go share that moment of fucking greatness. Like, to be able to live that moment and be like, man, I got to move around with Floyd Mayweather on national television and everyone tuned in to watch 2 of the best athletes in their sport have fun together. That's like that. That's that epic moment for me. But as far as fighting, man, line them up. Man, who y'all want? Who y'all want to see? Triple G, Canelo, anybody. I don't mind. Like, I just want to go in there with the best. You know what I mean? If the best is still fighting, I wouldn't mind fighting with the best. Someone's been missing me.
There he is. That's awesome. So just 2 last things and then I'll let you go. So I think you're in the perfect scenario right now. Everyone wants to see you, fight these UFC guys. That's all we're talking about today. I think whether, as I said, it'd be in Bellator's best interest to keep you around as, long as possible, but it's going to be a win either way. You're so young that even if you stayed in Bellator for 10 more fights and you go, to 28, 29-0, that would just make a potential UFC move down the line even bigger. So like, are you feeling any of, that talk? Like maybe even if, Bellator comes to me with something great, maybe I look and see what's on the other side of the fence, or do you not feel any sort of rush to get to fight those other guys? Because whether it happens in 6 months or 6 years, you feel it's going to happen.
6 months, 6 years, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as I'm cashing in big checks, I'm okay. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. As long as I'm able to do things that I want to do and create new openings, new opportunities with new companies, the second all that hard work begins to pay off, that's when I can really say, okay, what more is there for me to do? But at that point, you know what I mean? The fruits of the labor are being enjoyed so much. Where's the value in me needing to do that? You know what I mean? I've already established myself as like, all right, I'm the best here. You know what I mean? This is what I've done. These are the doors that I've not opened just for myself, but for Bellator as well. I think that's going to be the big part. And that's kind of the big step that I'm waiting for. So there's really no rush. This is the beginning, like I've said. This is just the beginning. And that's the crazy part, This is the first world title. I haven't even defended it yet. And I'm looking to get that second world title, That's what I've been calling since day one, champ. And having 2 belts, obviously one of them is going to be put beneath me, and that being the 16-man tournament belt. That one is that one's done. It's already it's written in stone now. So now it's time to move up and go ahead and get that second one out the way. But we got to sit down and chop it up, see what the deal is. I don't think Uncle Dana is willing to budge and make that work with me being over here. But who knows? Maybe we get something on Showtime. Maybe he wants to get involved with that, you know. Who knows? CBS, best of the best, you know. We'll see. I don't know. And if I was to go, I don't like the new UFC belts anyways. I like that old belt, like straight up. So that's one of my problems too. That new belt's got to go.
Yeah, I'm sure you get used to it over time, but maybe not. But you mentioned it, that tournament belt, that 16. In your opinion, I know you're an MMA historian. Where does your tournament run rank up among the best of all time? I think of Shoguns in 2004, Mark Coleman, early Pride days. Where do you think your run stacks up? 4 finishes, you know, all very good fighters, beats the number 1 pound for pound to win the belt. Where do you think it ranks?
It's dope, but I can't compare to those, man. Those Pride days, those tournaments in one night, that's that fucking true gangster warrior shit right there. Like, those are the days I would love to do a fight like that. Like, that's the truth. Those are true tournament fights to me. Those are true tournament fights. Like, 4 for 4 all finishes. If we could have did this tournament in 2 days, I would have set this up there with those. But man, just different time, different era. You know what I mean? Those were beginning stages. You know what I mean? When people were still figuring out the sport. I don't think they really can compare to those, man. Those Pride days, those Strike Force days, when they're doing tournaments like that, it was a different level of fighting. You know what I mean? But being able to beat one of the best 145 pounders in the world, his accolades, the things he's accomplished, it's obviously a big chip on my shoulder. I'm glad it's there now. And, man, the tournament, it was great, you know. Like I said, I wanted to set a statement with it. And I'm glad that I went out there and did exactly what I said I was going to do. 4 for 4, all finishes, all day. Brought that belt home to L.A. And, man, I'm looking to see who's the real king of L.A. because I know who runs this throne, baby.
There you go. And very final thing, AJ, I appreciate it so much. Has there been anything since Saturday night? Obviously, the fight and the win was special, but since that's happened in the past 48 hours, a text message you got, something, you know, Rampage or father said to you, something along the way that I know you said off the top that you still haven't fully absorbed everything that's happened, but is there something you can point to right now that feels particularly special or that's sticking with you since the fight?
Just the recognition, the respect. It's here, you know what I mean? Like, I used to go walk around the mall and nobody know who I am. Like, I went to eat breakfast the next morning at Roscoe's and everybody's like, "Hey, congrats, champ." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, people know who I am. Like, so it's a little surreal still, you know what I mean? It's kicking in slowly but surely. And my dad's like, "Dude, you're not gonna be able to go anywhere in a minute. Like, you don't understand." But I mean, seeing Rampage and all these guys and how we used to, you know what I mean, we'll be eating, people walk up to them in those moments, like, it's being able to embrace that. So I'm just enjoying it, you know. I'm here for the ride. I took so many damn pictures the night of the fight. It was ridiculous. It was the first time I had ever gotten close or tired of taking pictures and be like, I want a break. Like, you know what I mean? Just pause, please, people. Like, but man, it's fun, you know. You just love it. You smile and embrace it all, you know. I'm loving every second, every moment of it, and it's just gonna continue to get better, you know. This is the beginning, like I said, the beginning of the beginning, and that's the scary part. 26, I got a long career ahead of me. I know for sure I got another 10 years in it if I want to, but hopefully I can be done in 4 if things work out right, and just see how things go. But if I'm cashing 100 million, we could stretch it 10. We could definitely stretch it for a good 10 years.
There we go. Well, no doubt a lot more of that recognition coming your way. And I know you've said time and time again, you had your phase where, you know, all of this stuff potentially pulled you back and you got through it. And here you are now. So I'm guessing you're very grounded and no doubt in your mind you're going to be able to handle this flawlessly.
Thank you. That's what I'm looking forward to, man, is being the best of the best inside and outside of the cage and putting on a show for the people, man. As long as they're happy, I'm happy, make the organization happy, and we all stay happy.